Welcome back, and we are going straight to the part 7, and today we are going to create gable columns. And prior to that, if I zoom out, you'll be able to see we have grid line here, grid lines in place. So you can see if we place column here, we'll be able to place another one here, not connected to that rafter, and another one to connect to that rafter, and you find the middle one will be connected straight to this connection here, which is not right. So what we are going to do, we are going to modify our grid line so that we have an offset from the center here, so that we have a column on this end and a column on this end, avoiding this connection at the center here. So let me just first of all double click on the grid line here so that we have some modification on the grid line first before we start placing the gable columns. So I'll come to y-axis. As I had told you, the x-axis is red and the y-axis is green. So let's come to y-axis here, and we want to modify the grid lines here. So as I had told you, from here to the next column, I want to give it a 3 meters. So let me just key in 3 meters or 3000 millimeters. Then I need 3 of the of columns right there. Then give a space, then add another column from the other side. Then I'll go ahead and click apply and give it an OK. So if I click OK, you'll be able to see I have a 3 meter from this end and a 3 meter from this end, and I have some 2 columns avoiding this center here. So we'll place a column here and we'll place a column here. So you'll see there'll be no any collision between our main our cable column to the apex connection here. So that's okay according to us. So let's come to view line A so that we have an elevation, or we have an elevation of the gable side. So if I double click on view line A, we'll be able to check on that. You can see, but as we speak, we can't see the grid lines here. So let me show you how we can enable the grid lines, the vertical grid lines here, so that we'll be able to start placement of the gable columns right away. So let me just double click on the grid line here and click on and check on the vertical lines. If I check on the vertical lines and click apply and give it an OK, we'll be able to see we have the vertical lines. So this will assist us in placement of the vertical columns. So we have two ways. We can place on this elevation view, or we can switch back to the 3D view and place them. So whichever way you find it convenient, you can do that. So let's just go straight away and just start placement of the column. So I'll mouse over this intersection between this grid line and this grid line, and I just snap right there and place a column right there. So you can see by default height we have this column height. So let me just double click first of all to see which profile or which steel profile we have. We have the IPE, we have HEA 300, but in our case we need IPE. We can as well go ahead and just type IPE right there, and just go ahead and click apply. And prior to that, first of all, we have to check, because this column has to go all the way to the bottom end of this rafter. So prior to that, we have to check the distance from here to here. So we can as well give it 10 meters, because we don't want to give it, we don't want to exactly go right at the bottom end. So let's just give it 10 meters, so that the remaining will be trimmed off using the connection that we'll use to create a connection between our column and the rafter there. So let me just give it 10 meters right away. Let me just type 10 meters and click apply and give it an OK. So this will stretch all the way to the top end. And we'll go ahead here. So let me just double click on it so that we default on that measurement. And once I've double clicked, I'll just wait for some time for the editor dialog box to come. So let me just go ahead and set that as my default profile creation. So once I've clicked on set as a default, click apply and give it an OK. So the next time I go here and try to create a column, I'll be able to default on the same steel profile and approximately the same height. Apart from, if not the same height, but it will be the same steel profile. So let's confirm that. We double click on that and see if we have that editor dialog box, and we have the IPE 300. So what we'll adjust here only is just the height here. So I'll go ahead and click apply and give it an OK. So we have 10 meters there. So this one here, we can as well just go ahead and add that 10, 10, 10. But it's not okay. It will be short of some distances, so we have to confirm the distance between this to that bottom end of our rafter. So I'll go to edit and come to measure here, click on that drop down arrow and pick the first option. So I want to check the distance from here and here. So let me just mouse over there and probably come here, and I'm not able to snap actually right on I'm not able to snap there, so I'll just press control I'll press control and snap there, and what we have is approximately 197 there, so we'll add 197 on a 10 meters high. So I'll come to steel, then comes to steel column, and I'll just snap on that and click and right click and click interrupt and double click on that. So when keying in the 10 meter, I'll take into consideration the 197 millimeter that we have just measured there. So I'm going to type in 10 meters. So I'll add 197, or I can just leave it at 200. So the rest will be trimmed off by the connection that we'll be able to create. So I'll go ahead and click apply. So if you zoom out, we'll be able to we have these in place. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to right click and pick and use copy. And since this distance, the upper distance that we had confirmed is the same with this one here. So let me just place this one right there. So the moment I place the right one right there, the next thing is just to create connection. So to create connection, let me switch back to 3D view so you can see how you can have a closer look on that. So once you've done so, the next thing you need to go and do is just to create connection, and we are going to use the PEB connection type that are available in COMOSYS. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to column beam to column. If I click on that, I'll be able to scroll down and I'll be able to check on this, and we want to use PEB and plate to flange. So I'll pick on that, and I want to pick, you can check the instruction here, select the beam, and the beam is this, so and select the column right there, and we have a connection in place. So it's as simple as that. So if you want to edit it further, you can always select any part of that connection, then press letter M on the keyboard and enter on your keyboard once again. So this will bring to us the editor dialog box. From there, we'll be able to customize it to a specific dimension of our preference. So let me just drag that by holding my left button on my mouse and drag it aside. So a reason why I'm opening it, because I want to access the preset that I had created before. So if I click on this drop down arrow and pick on gable column connection 1 and click load, and I'll be able to, if I click apply, I'll be able to load the settings that I had created before. So let me just go back and click the first tab here, general, so that you see the settings or the measurements that I had placed in here to come up with this type of connection. So if I come to plate, you can see that I left at default. If I come to bolts, you can see what I had created. If I come to welds are left at a default. And let me come to macro presets. So if I come here and click load and click apply, I'll be able to see everything in place. So you can see it has taken a different setting, because let me just undo that, and this is where we are. If I click on that and turn it around, I'll be able to reset it. Double click, I picked bolts, which is not right. So my target is just that. Press letter M and enter, and now we want to edit it further. So we've taken some bit of time, and I think we'll allow some 2 or 1 minute to explain on that. So if I come to bolts, from the bolts, let me just come and try and edit these. Let me come to bolts and come to general. So this is what we have. Click apply, and let me just elaborate this further on the next presentation. Let's meet then. Bye bye, and I hope you'll subscribe to this channel, and let's meet then. Bye bye.